What do successful course creators do that others don't? What are the 9 things that those who fail to create a successful course fail to do? Stay with me and we'll go through them all so that you can make sure that you succeed where others fail to implement these 9 things. Let's get into it. Many course creators give up long before they've even created their first course. Fix these 9 things and you can be sure that you can create a course that will sell, that will be successful. You won't have to worry about any of these issues stopping you from moving forward and creating, launching and selling your successful course. Sadly, most course creators aren't successful, but they don't need to fail. By identifying why this is, you can make sure that you don't fail where others do. You can avoid the mistakes that they make. So let's get into them. Let's start with number 1. And this is probably the biggest mistake that failed course creators are guilty of. It's not validating their course. They think of a course subject and they think, I'm really interested in that, so other people will be interested in it. It's something that excites me, so other people must have a need for it. And they don't validate the course. They don't go and look at who their ideal customer is. They don't get a good idea of who they might be selling to. They don't look at the market demand for such a course. They don't take time to look at the competition in the market. Remember, if there's no competition, then that's probably because there isn't a demand for that subject in the first place. So nobody's providing a service because they know that nobody will buy it. If there's too much competition, then as new course creators, they won't be able to afford to compete in that market. They need to understand who their ideal customer is, how much the demand is, where the demand is, exactly what the demand is for, and how competitive the market is. Once they've done this, they then have an idea that's validated. Number 2, they don't sell early enough. They spend all their time creating a course, and it's a bit like procrastination. It's got to be absolutely perfect. Perfectionism is a real enemy of course creators. They think it's never ready to release, never ready to sell. But you've got to sell, and you've got to get on and sell. And one of the best ways to do that is to actually sell your course before you've created it. It's a great idea. People will, especially the first iteration, people will happily come on board and give you their money up front if they know that there's something in it for them. So the first time you sell your course, if you don't have any testimonials, offer it for a fraction of the price that you'd like it to be in the long run to get some people on board. Tell them you're creating the course at the moment, but what they get for committing early is a vastly reduced price. But you'll give it to them on condition that they give you feedback, which is where you get your testimonials from. Once you've got those testimonials, you can then increase your price. But the first time, don't wait until you've created your course to start selling. Start selling before you even create your course. And number 3, of course, if you want to sell, you need an audience. If you're going to start selling, however early on that is, you need to build an audience of people that you can sell it to. Because if you try and do it through advertising, it's going to be really expensive. Particularly to a cold audience, it's prohibitively expensive. So don't think you can just go on Facebook ads. I'd highly advise you to avoid it. Going on Facebook ads or Google ads early on and start advertising and selling, because you'll be disappointed, especially early on. To start building an audience organically, do it through SEO, do it through content creation, do it through social media, do it through YouTube. Build an audience, build a group of people who are interested in what you do, people who like you, people who like what you do, people who would love to learn from you. That's your audience, and collect their email addresses however you can. You've then got an audience that you can sell to. Build an audience as early as you possibly can. If you haven't started already, start now. Number 4, they don't produce results for their students. Now that might sound like they've just created a rubbish course, but that's not necessarily the case. It's important to understand who your students are and what they need from you, because it might not be appropriate for you to just give them an online course and let them get on with it. They might need you to encourage them. Your course might last a certain amount of time rather than be do it at your own speed type course. And you need to get on and be part of the community, bring them into that community, welcome them and encourage them. And have other ways of making them move through the course, pushing them to get success, using gamification if you can. Anything you can use to encourage them to make progress, to keep on at it. All these things will help your students get results. And the more they get results, the more you get testimonials, the more you get word of mouth referrals. Number 5, and I see this one time and time again, and I've probably been a little bit guilty myself and I have to be very disciplined about it, and that is getting sidetracked by the technology. It's almost like yet again, a form of procrastination. The technology can really stop you getting on and creating, launching and selling your course. It's so easy to say, I need a better camera, I need better lighting, I need a better microphone, I need this, I need that, I need more screens, bigger screens, more computing power. All this will come. You can start off with your smartphone. Don't let technology hold you up. So many people get bogged down in the technology and it takes them literally years to actually start recording and creating modules for their courses. So don't let the technology ever be an excuse. Like I say, start with your phone. Once you start making some money from your courses, you can reinvest some of it in better equipment should you so wish. And along with getting sidetracked by the technology is lacking focus and commitment. This is not an easy thing to do to create a successful course. It takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of focus, it takes a lot of dedication. You have to be really enthusiastic about what you're doing, and you have to put lots of time and effort into it, and if you're not focused and you're not motivated, you won't do it. So if you want to create a course, make sure it's something you love doing. That'll give you a much better chance of actually being committed and getting it done. Number 6 is about focusing on other things other than the outcomes and the transformations. Remember, your course isn't for you, it's for your students. It's for the people that you sell your course to. And what they want out of it is an outcome, a transformation. You're taking them from A, where they are now, to B, which is where they want to be. You have to get them through that journey, over that hurdle, past that sticking point, whatever that might be in wherever they're going, whether it's in their life or in their work or in their own business or whatever. So you have to focus on the transformation and getting them results. Don't focus on things like fancy cameras or fancy equipment or green screens and all the other stuff that can distract you from helping your students get results, which is what it's all about. Number 7, and this might surprise you, not charging enough. And the reason for this is that firstly, you're putting a lot of work and effort and expertise and experience and love and passion and all these good things into your course. And you should get paid well for it. But not only that, if you're getting people results, then you have to look at what the value is to that person of the results. And if you're getting people valuable results, then they expect to pay you handsomely for it. So make sure you're charging a good amount for your course. And I've got videos on pricing your course. Pricing your course alongside naming your course are the 2 things that really hold course creators up. So make sure you're charging enough. Another reason why you must charge what you're worth, and you must charge based upon the value that your customers get from you, is that if you charge too little, then the perception will be that there's little value in what you're offering. If you charge more, then there is more perceived value. A lot of people struggle to sell courses at $17, but can sell them at $497 or $997 or $2,997 or pounds or whatever your currency is. So make sure you're charging the proper rate. Number 8 is not building relationships with your buyers. You can't expect when you're looking for somebody to pay $500 or $1,000 or $2,000 to do your course. You can't expect them to just find you online and buy your course. They have to get to know, like and trust you. So in order to do that, you have to touch them. You have to build a relationship with them. You have to talk to them. You have to, whether that's on Facebook or on other social media, or through email, or physically phoning them up or getting on a video call, depending on the price of your course, depending on the extent of your course and the size of your course and the results you're going to get from your course. So do build relationships. People who don't build relationships and just sit back and wait for the till to ring, we're going to be waiting a long time. And closely related to that is the last one, number 9, which is not having a funnel, not having a nurturing process, and not having segmentation in place where you can divide your audience up into people with different needs. You can't attract everybody that you want to sell to using the same message. You can't send the same emails to everybody. You can't have the same conversations with everybody. Everybody's got individual needs. So make sure that you segment your audience and make sure you understand why you're doing it and what you're going to communicate to those people, what your message is going to be to each of those individual groups. And then understand your marketing funnel. So understand where people first find you and understand where you want to get them to, which is buying from you, and then have a process in place for taking people from their first touch through to knowing, liking and trusting you, to understanding what you're offering, to understanding what the value to them is, and then how they can easily buy from you without concern. Make sure they've got guarantees in place. So that covers the 9 things that you have to make sure that you do or don't do in order to be a successful course creator. You can see all the mistakes that those who fall by the wayside make. So you won't. I'm delighted. There's never been a better time for course creators. The online learning market is exploding and it's a brilliant place to be. It's really, really satisfying helping others get results and getting paid for it. So if you're still concerned about how to price your course, have a look at my other video on exactly how to do that. Okay, I'll see you in the next video.